Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to the mixer, and today's topic is going to be something really cool in my opinion, and that I personally think was very interesting to research, and put together for a little video here. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know about the topic itself, we all know one of the most famous paintings in human history, which is the Mona Lisa, okay? Everybody knows who she is, and you guys should know that it was painted by the great Leonardo da Vinci, back during the Italian Renaissance in the 1500s, Now, there are speculations as to when the painting was actually done, People say that Leonardo actually made it between 1503 and 1506, but there are speculations that he was working on it until like 1517, So, however the hell long it took to make, it is today considered the most, probably the most famous painting in history, but it is definitely one of the most valuable, The Mona Lisa is actually today worth $870 million, okay, as of this year, so it's pretty crazy. I do believe it's the highest available item, for auction. No, not auction. So I don't know, something about, I actually have it here on the little cheat sheet. The highest known insurance valuation in history. There we go. Okay, so, and it's a pretty small painting. It's like 77 centimeters by 53 centimeters, so it's not too big. And you guys can actually go see it today in Paris. It's been on display in the Louvre Museum in France since 1797, so you guys can go actually see it there today. It must be a sight to behold. Although today it's a little complicated because they have drastically reduced the time that you can actually stand there looking at the painting, Right now you can only, each person or group of people, I believe, if you go together, can look at the painting for 30 seconds before having to move on so somebody else can, but yeah, it's pretty complicated. I imagine it's because there are a lot of people who go to see it, daily, so it's pretty crazy. But anyway, so in case you guys don't know, it's actually, the painting is, you guys have obviously seen photos of it, and it's actually a painting of Lisa Gheraldini, if that's how you pronounce her name, who was actually the wife of Francisco del Giocondo, who was from a rich family and whatnot. And the painting itself is in oil on a white Lombardy poplar panel, I actually have a little cheat sheet here, and I don't know how to pronounce a lot of things, And Leonardo actually never gave the painting to the family after it was done, but he did leave it in his will after he died to his apprentice, But anyway, so here's the thing. The thing is that it was acquired by King Louis I of France, way back in the day, and it's actually the property of the French Republic itself, So it's a very famous painting, and it's actually weird because, like, the qualities of the painting include just the enigmatic expression of the subject itself of Lisa, There's also the monumentality of the composition, and also a few things like the subtle modeling of the forms, and also the atmospheric illusionism, a bunch of stuff related to the art factor there, But the original painting itself, it's actually been kind of not really redone, but it's been retouched, a few times, and today it looks much brighter than the original, which actually was a lot darker, because of age. But yeah, there have been many replicas over the years, but the original is just one, the one that you guys see at the museum today. And what I'm going to be covering in today's video is something that maybe some of you didn't even know actually happened, which was that the Mona Lisa was stolen. Do you guys know that? Oh yeah, guys, it was stolen back in 1911, by this guy who worked at a museum, an artist, and apparently there was there are a few different reasons why it happened, and it was like, I mean, either the guy was really skilled at what he did, or people back then were really dumb and unobservant, because how do you steal the damn Mona Lisa? Like, try doing that today, So anyway, it happened back then, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened, the details, And before I get into that, here are some photos of the Mona Lisa. Now, this is considered to be the greatest art theft in the 20th century, and it happened on August 21st, 1911, and it was done by Vincenzo Perugia, I don't know. He was the guy who orchestrated the theft completely by himself, There are a few different reasons, behind his possible motivations, which we're going to get to in a little bit, but I'm going to talk about the actual process itself, which I kind of put together here in a little cheat sheet, I can't, like, I can't freaking, I didn't even put anything together, I'm just going to read it from an article here, But I couldn't memorize this, it's too many details and it's pretty long, so let's get into it, okay? Now here's the thing. So there is a popular theory by the police that he actually hid himself, inside the museum. He used to work there at the Louvre, so that's how he knew how to get in. On Sunday, the August 20th, he knew the museum would be closed the following day, which is weird. I mean, if he hid himself on Sunday, he knew it would be closed on Monday. What kind of museum closes on Monday? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, knowing that it would be closed, and then he entered the museum on Monday the next day at around 7 in the morning through the door where the other workers were entering, and he wore one of the white smocks that the employees casually wore, and it was really hard to distinguish him from the other workers, you know. So when the saloon carrier, you know, where the Mona Lisa was hung was empty, you know, he lifted the painting off of the 4 iron pegs that secured it to the wall and took it to a nearby service staircase. Already this seems unbelievable, because like, how would somebody not notice this? Okay, and then he removed the protective case and the frame, and then some people report that he actually concealed it, you know, the painting, which was painted on wood, under his smock, and he was only like 63 inches tall, you know. So how would I express this? He was 6'3". I don't know. No, sorry. He was 160 centimeters tall, 63 inches. How would I put this in feet? Damn it. I don't know, whatever. And the Mona Lisa measures about 21 inches by 30 inches, like I said before, you know, in a different way. So it wouldn't fit under a smock worn by someone his size, but apparently he did it anyway. So he said that he took off his smock and wrapped it around the painting, tucked it under his arm, and left the museum through the same door he had entered. Okay, that seems a little more believable. Actually, the whole thing still doesn't seem believable, but anyway, he hid the painting in his apartment in Paris, you know, and then after keeping it hidden in a trunk in his apartment for 2 freaking years, he returned to Italy with it. So the Mona Lisa was missing for 2 years, and dude, I mean, security must have sucked back then, like investigations, you know, because even back then it was already one of the most famous paintings in the world, you know, became even more famous after it was recovered. But anyway, I gave a little spoiler there. It was recovered. Actually, I think you pretty much know it was recovered. It's not really a spoiler, is it? So he kept it in his apartment in Florence, Italy for some time, but he eventually grew really impatient, so he was finally caught when he contacted a guy named Mario Fratelli, who was the owner of an art gallery in Florence, you know, and the story that he told, you know, conflicts with the thief story, you know, but it was still clear that Perugia expected a reward for returning the painting, you know, to what he considered to be the homeland, you know, because, I mean, Leonardo da Vinci was Italian, so he stole it because he thought he was returning it to Italy, which was the proper home of it, even though it was a gift from Leonardo to France, but semantics, right? So he called in a guy, the director of the Uffizi Gallery, who authenticated the painting, and then Poggi and Fratelli, after taking it for safekeeping, informed the police, of course, who arrested the thief at his hotel. All right. So after the recovery, the painting was exhibited all over Italy with banner headlines rejoicing its return. Everybody was really happy that it was back home, you know. And then the Mona Lisa was returned to the Louvre 2 years later in 1913. And even though it was famous before the theft, it actually became even more so because the notoriety it received from the newspaper headlines and the large-scale police investigations actually made it become even more famous and helped it to become the most known artwork in the world, you know, which it still is today. So I do consider it to be the most famous artwork today, not just because of the influence, but because of this crazy story surrounding the how can I say, the stealing of it, you know, which to this day is really crazy and hard to believe, man. How do you steal the damn Mona Lisa, dude? Now, here's the thing. I'm going to read for you guys now the 2 most prominent theories regarding, you know, the motivations behind him stealing the painting, okay? Now, here's the thing. He did say that he did it for a patriotic reason, you know, he wanted to bring the painting back for display in Italy after it was stolen, you know, by Napoleon. Because when this guy worked at the museum itself at the Louvre, he actually learned that Napoleon plundered many Italian works of art, you know, during the wars that he had during his time there. So maybe he was a little bit sincere in the motivation. He wanted to bring it back, you know, but then again, he clearly didn't know, or maybe he did know, but he was just stupid, that, like I said before, Da Vinci actually gave it as a gift to our King Louis I, you know, no, sorry, Francis I, the king, you know, when he moved to France. So it happened during the 16th century, dude, you know, 250 years before Napoleon was even born. So, I mean, come on, really? And then experts have questioned the patriotism motives on the grounds that if it really was the motive, if he really was patriotic, then he would have tried to maybe donate the painting to an Italian museum for a display there instead of trying to profit off of it, you know, like he did for selfish reasons. So that's also a little way to debunk it there. So the question of money was also confirmed by the letters that he sent to his father after he stole it, you know. And then 4 months after the theft, he actually wrote that Paris was where he would make his fortune and that it would arrive in one shot. So he was trying to profit off of it for selfish reasons, to make money and get rich, you know. So, and he actually wrote, "I am making a vow for you to live long and enjoy the prize that your son is about to receive for you and for all our family." So he was put on trial, and the court actually agreed unanimously to some extent that he committed the crime for patriotic reasons and gave him a lenient sentence, you know. know, and he was sent to jail for 1 year and 15 days, but he was hailed as a great patriot in Italy and served only 7 months in jail, which is, so it seems like his stupidity was shared by the Italian people who thought that he was actually bringing it back home, you know. God, man, this is what happens when you jump to conclusions without doing research, you know. I mean, dude, Leonardo da Vinci gave it as a gift, you know, so he created it. He was Italian, the painting was Italian, but he gave it to France, you know. So I mean, somebody forgot to tell these people this. Sometimes patriotism, like, it takes really dumb turns, you know? People do really stupid crap when they think they're being patriotic. But then another theory emerged sometime later, and this one is really interesting, because the theft may have been encouraged or masterminded by this guy named Eduardo de Valfrieno, who was a conman who commissioned the French art forger Yves Chaudron, these names freaking kill me, to make copies of the paintings so he could sell them as the missing original, you know? So the copies would have gone up in value if the original was ever stolen. So then the theory is based entirely on an article back in 1932 by a journalist, you know? He claimed to have known the guy and heard the story from him himself back in 1913, promising not to print it until he learned of his death. But there's actually no external confirmation for this, you know? So it's literally just a theory, speculation. But regarding the actual theft itself, like, the way that I see it is that people back then were really unobservant, like I said before, because how do you, like, because dude, even back in 1911, there had to have been some security personnel in the museum around the Mona Lisa, right? Like, how, even if you got there really early in the morning where there was nobody there seeing the painting, how are you going to pull off a heist like this, you know? And like, even if you were able to steal it without anybody noticing, how long do you think it's gonna be before they notice that there's a blank space where the Mona Lisa is supposed to be, you know? So to me, it seems really stupid. Like, how it even happened, and even worse than that is how it was missing for 2 years, you know? The guy managed to keep it in his damn apartment, probably under his bed for 2 freaking years, you know? And obviously he lived by himself. He couldn't have lived with somebody who didn't rat him out, you know? Like, if I was this guy's German, I would definitely turn him into the police, you know? But, maybe I'm just too much of a goody two-shoes for my own good. So in my opinion, it seems really contrived, but it did actually happen. You guys can look this up. I'm not making it up. It's not clickbait. It really did happen. And I think it's pretty damn fascinating how this guy pulled it off, you know? But still, man, I mean, you win some and you lose some, right? He actually, somehow his country hailed him as a hero, you know, for his attempt. So he still faced a stint in jail, but he only served 7 months, which probably isn't that bad. Now, trying to steal the Mona Lisa today would be... honestly, dude, just trying to even like thinking about the idea of stealing it today is already going to land you in some issues, you know? But if you can successfully pull this off today and not be found in like, you know, 5 minutes, I don't know, you probably deserve to keep the thing for yourself, you know? But I understand that if you have something like the Mona Lisa in your possession, you're going to want to sell it, you know, to the highest bidder, because, dude, it's worth nearly $1 billion, you know? So it's pretty freaking crazy. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to share this tale, you know, of how this happened, you know, a few intricate details here. There are many more references and much longer articles online that you guys can read, but I didn't want to get into that because it's going to be too much work, you know, and I've got a bunch of videos to record today, so I'm not necessarily rushing, but I want to try to keep it a little short and simple for you guys, you know, and I'm really curious to know what you think about this, you know, if you never knew that it was even a thing. So drop a comment down below letting me know what you thought about it. If you like this tale, then give this video a like and also subscribe to my channel, because hey, I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you can know exactly what time I upload, because I do that completely at random, okay? And I guess that's it for today, guys. If you ever go to the Louvre, make sure that you don't try to steal the Mona Lisa, but take some photos and videos, make a YouTube channel, you know, try to profit off of it that way, you know, and yeah, it's all good. Maybe I'll go there one day and try to do the same. Not steal, but I mean take photos and videos and stuff, you know, and show you guys here in my channel. But that's it for now, guys. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Roll the outro screen.